Excellent. So my name is Alina Dominguez. I am Manager of Academic Advising Services for the College of Arts, Sciences, and Education. And today's conversation is just about FIU, what you can expect from FIU, what you can expect from the College of Arts, Sciences, and Education, and what you can expect as a major within CASE. You'll also get a chance to speak with some current CASE students. So if you have any questions, feel free to utilize the chat. Elliot will go ahead and assist me in this. He's waving. And you guys feel free to, I see a lot of us have put our cameras on, so thank you, appreciate that. So feel free and ask questions. Elliot will go ahead and answer. And at the end, we're gonna have kind of like a Q&A with some students, okay? So first, let's take a look at FIU. So FIU is a wonderful public research university, committed to its students, committed to the community at large. FIU provides a quality education and really does leave lasting positive impact. So let's take a look at some of our bragging rights. My favorite is the top 50 public research university, obviously. But there's also the top 50 positive impact, according to the Times Higher Education Impact Rating. And of course, you'll always hear that we are #1 for the student passing rate for the bar exam. So that's phenomenal. We're a emerging preeminent university. We are, according to the US News and World Report, top 100 public national university, top 50 performer in social mobility. So we really are an innovative school, and I'm very proud to be part of the FIU family. We are, of course, the top 3 public university in the country, according to the Times Higher Education. So without further ado, let's take a look at the College of Arts, Sciences, and Education.
Science with an attitude.
We are at Aquarius Reef Base.
That video always gives me goosebumps because it's just proof of how amazing CASE, the College of Arts, Sciences, and Education is. CASE is the largest college spread between Modesto Medici campus, Biscayne Bay campus, and online. And with over 64 million in research expenditures, it is no wonder that we're doing some groundbreaking work. We have 28,000 students who are part of the College of Arts, Sciences, and Education. We have 1,600 faculty and instructional staff dedicated to providing those learning opportunities and educating those students. We house 3 different schools with unique programs ranging from sciences, humanities, and education. And across disciplines, CASE really does build together. Part of what makes the College of Arts, Sciences, and Education so fantastic is the access to some of the amazing faculty. So let's take a look. We've got, yes, our fearless leader, Dean Mike Heithaus, is a marine ecologist that, yes, works with sharks. You may have seen him on documentaries like Shark Week or Shark Fest. His work in Shark Bay, Australia, is the most detailed study of the ecological role of sharks in the world. We also have Dion Stevens. Dr. Stevens is an associate professor in the Department of Psychology. She's also the director of Health Disparities and Cultural Identities Lab. Her research examines cultural factors shaping health inequities. She's examined issues such as culture's influence on perception of sexually transmitted infections, gender-based violence, sexual health across pop culture contexts like hip hop and social media. And she's received multiple awards recognizing her excellence in mentorship. We also have Dr. Evelyn Geiser. She's an aquatic ecologist whose research is focused on how algae can be used as sentinels of the effects of long-term changes in climate and land use in aquatic systems. She's the lead investigator of the Florida Coastal Everglades Long-Term Ecological Research Program. And she also contributes to creative work, uniting faculty across the natural sciences, social sciences, humanities, ultimately forging community partnerships to foster understanding and sustainability of the planet. Then there's John Dufresne. John Dufresne is a professor in the Department of English and the Creative Writing Program. And he's an author of 6 novels, 2 short story collections, and he's a Guggenheim Fellow. The Guggenheim Fellowship is competitive. It's a competitive award that recognizes individuals who've demonstrated exceptional capacity for productive scholarship and creativity in the arts. We also have Dr. Yukchin Se-din. She is the director of the Biomolecular Sciences Institute and distinguished university professor in the Department of Chemistry and Biochemistry. She spent her career focused on studying DNA protein interactions at the molecular level. Se-din and her team of researchers from the Biomolecular Sciences Institute are investigating the role of these enzymes and the role they play in the spread of COVID-19 in the hopes of uncovering potential treatment options. In addition to her, we have Dr. William Pelham. He's part of the Department of Psychology and the director of the Center for Children and Families. He's a recipient of multiple awards, including the Distinguished Scientific Contributions to Clinical Psychology Award. In fact, his summer treatment program for children with ADHD has been recognized as state of the art in treatment for children and adolescents with ADHD. He's authored and co-authored more than 400 professional publications dealing with ADHD and its assessment and treatment. Additionally, we've got Pete Markowitz from physics. He's a physics professor and dean for the Honors College. And this professor, he's done research in nuclear and particle physics experiments in US and Switzerland. And he's part of the team that discovered the Higgs boson God particle. How amazing is that? We also have Dr. Angela Laird, professor in physics and the director for the Center for Imaging Sciences. Angela Laird is an authority in the field of human functional brain mapping. Her work focuses on mining and exploring big data in neuroimaging to better understand brain functioning. We also have Dr. Philip M. Carter. He's an associate professor of English. He's also the director of the Center for Humanities in an Urban Environment. As director, he's bringing on new types of humanities to the forefront. The center has hosted several major events focusing on the crisis of race in America, Latinx identity, LGBTQ+ issues, and more. He's also a sociolinguist that conducts research on what he calls Miami English. Across multiple disciplines, the sciences, arts, humanity, our faculty continue to make amazing contributions. In the months of March to June, 928 media hits featuring Case faculty were secured in print, online, and broadcast in outlets including PBS, the Miami Herald, Yahoo Noticias, and WLRN. So this includes features on FIU research regarding bioluminescence, COVID-19, contact tracing, and the shark fin trade, as well as expert placements on a wide range of stories, including COVID-19 and child mental health. And that was just some information about our most talked about stories. Now let's take a look a little bit about the College of Arts, Sciences, and Education and the majors. So this is a snapshot of the different majors available in the college. You've got our newest degree program, the Behavioral Neurosciences BS, housed within the Department of Psychology. You've got Biological Sciences, one of our most popular. You've got Early Childhood Education, Earth Sciences. We've got English BA. We've got Mathematical Sciences. We've got Geosciences. We've got Philosophy. We've got Physics, Physical Education, so on and so forth. Sustainability, Women and Gender Studies. So here within FIU, you've got a wide variety of majors that ideally are suited for you, that pique your interest, that get you really excited about potential growth within it. And you know what? You're not alone. At FIU, you're part of a team. So what does that team actually look like? Well, it's important to realize you're the center of that team. You know who's got your back? Your professors. Your professors are driven in their education, right? They're driven to really guide you in your learning. They can also talk about their own experiences in the field. your parents, family, and friends to support you, right? To really kind of encourage you or help you stay motivated and driven towards your goals. You've also got the Career and Talent Development Office. So this is an office personally catered to helping you search for internships. They can help you with your resume. They can even sit there and help you prepare with a mock interview. We've got tutoring. We've got multiple tutoring offices to really help you bump up your knowledge, bump up your grade, right? So instead of just shooting for that B, let's shoot for that B plus or A and really utilize those services. We also have academic advisors. Each and every single student has an assigned academic advisor. And those are professionals who can help you really plan for your future, plan your course of study. So you have someone in your corner really, really helping you to develop and hone your skills and your goals. We also have college life coaching. Sometimes you just need to have a conversation with someone to help you work out your goals, to help you stay motivated. We also have counseling and psychological services, or CAPS for short. CAPS is 100% free. And it's an opportunity for students to go ahead and if they need someone to talk to about a breakup or whatever, you've got trained counselors to help you. And whoever else in the university, your peers, your friends, student clubs, organizations, ultimately, it's really about you rising to the occasion and being part of FIU and making the most of FIU for your college dreams and goals. So, you know what? Let's kind of move forward in there. Don't take my word for it. We have a few students here who really can talk about their experiences. I think a few of them have had some issues in the morning. So right now joining us is Brittany Broxton. So let me go ahead and bring up her picture. Brittany's a junior from Tampa, Florida, and she's majoring in English with a focus track in linguistics. She's pursuing the certificate in professional public writing, and she also works in the Center for Excellence in Writing. Let's go ahead and move forward. I don't think Alberto has made it in yet. He's a biochem BS major, and he actually started in on research early on. He started in on research in his freshman year. So we're pretty excited and hoping he can come in today. We also have Enadine Soufralian. She's a psychology major who's actually chosen her classes so well that she's managed to work on pre-med requirements and also managed to get a second major in interdisciplinary studies while also wrapping up a minor in biology and chemistry. So this is a student panel, but for right now we have Brittany. So let's go ahead and stop sharing and kind of have conversations with Brittany. So I guess before we get started, Brittany, would you mind just telling us a little bit about yourself and your experiences?
Yeah, sure. Okay, I was making sure I unmuted myself. Okay, so good morning, everyone. Again, my name is Brittany Broxton, and I am an English major with a track in linguistics. If any of you guys are looking to be English majors, just know that there are 4 possible tracks that you get to choose from. So it's not just English, you can spice it up a little bit. I am from Tampa, Florida, but I did live on campus for 2 years, so I could also, any concerns about that? I ended up, well, when I first came to FIU, I was actually a biology major, but due to some amazing and just positive interactions with my professors and so on, I decided and kind of realized that biology wasn't for me. And thankfully, my English professors had my back and they guided me to figuring out exactly what I wanted to do and pursue professionally. So just shout out to them because I don't know where I would be without them. And I am a part of the Panther Community Action Board. It is a small little we're an e-board as of right now because virtual things. And we are connecting students on our campus to different ways that they can get involved in their community through, community service projects, by rewarding them mini grants, etc. And just through building connections, especially with my professors, my e-board, my organizations, my job. I do sit on the Student Engagement Council, which has really been a positive aspect of this year because I feel as if me within 55,000 students, I'm getting to speak up for who I represent, like my English majors, my PCA board, and so on, and just trying to build and work towards fostering a better community for you guys coming in. So yeah, I'm really excited to answer any of the questions that you guys have. I'm willing to be open and honest and transparent. So hit me with it. What you guys got?
I have a question for you, Brittany.
Yeah.
So just to kind of clarify, I also happen to sit on the student engagement council with Brittany, and I didn't know this until I saw her there. I was like, oh, I know you. Hey, how are you? But the student engagement, what makes this pretty phenomenal is that it is administrators within different areas of the entire university who are taking the time to really learn the student voice, to hear the student voice in different aspects, to really create engaging opportunities for the students. So I want to just make sure that you understand student voices are important, and she's actually, can tell you directly about that. That she's part of a committee to really help forge a brave new world, I guess, for you to make it even better. But a question I do have for you, Brittany, is I don't know. Can you kind of take us back to your first year with us? What were some of the things you were thinking? What were you afraid of, and how did it turn out?
Okay, what was I afraid of? Oh my gosh. I think the transition into college. I am the first one in my family to attend a 4-year public university, and I came from a very small school. My graduating class was 25 kids. I was the only one that left Tampa, and then I'm going to Miami in this huge college, and I was pretty much kind of terrified that I wasn't going to find myself and find a community or anything like that. But I would really kind of contribute the talk down of fear to my ENC 1102 teacher. He was the first person that I really kind of came into contact with. And I just remember sitting down and just asking him a ton of questions after class, being like, hey, listen, here's what I have for you. Can you help me? And he did without hesitation. And I feel like that experience right there, he really just taught me how to get more involved, figure out, hey, listen, go to your advisor. And then I remember that too. My ENC, or not my, sorry, not my ENC, my exploratory advisor, I remember sitting in her office for 2.5 hours. I was the last appointment that day, and we did not leave until 7:30 because she walked me through every single possible major within case and outside of case to see which one I would fit best in. And I ended up in English, and I remember just because of my professor, so on and so on. So I was really afraid of losing myself in this big crowd, but thankfully, like, your puzzle piece of who's got your back, that is 100% true, because every single one of those pieces, if you need help, just go and ask them, because I promise they will spend that 2.5 hours with you to break it down and to make sure that you feel important and you are able to find yourself.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And then, what are some of the highlights? Like, what was your most engaging, fun class, or at least the first one that pops into mind?
Ooh, my most engaging and fun class. Okay, I would have to say it was the class that I took to become a writing tutor. So if you want to, anyone really is allowed to become a writing center tutor as long as you take a semester long ENC course. It's ENC 3491. Okay. And in that class, the whole entire curriculum was how to be a better peer tutor, but then we also had to do observation hours. So to become a writing center tutor, we had to spend 15 hours observing other practices that veteran tutors were using and write them down, analyze them, and kind of just integrate them into our own groove. But then we also had the freedom to pick and choose what kinds of techniques we liked to build our rapport and just kind of like fix how we were going to become a tutor. You know what I mean? So it was that interactive, like picking from each kind of pot to grow your own self.
That's fantastic. And so I'm sure a lot of our students are asking, what in the world can you do with an English degree, right? I
Oh,
know
yeah.
the answer to this, but I want to know, I want you to articulate this.
Yeah. Okay. So if I was to go out in public, I know this. If somebody said, like, what are you majoring in? And I said English, they're going to say, oh, so you're going to become a teacher? No, 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 no. So at FIU, like I said, there are 4 English tracks. There are writing and rhetoric, creative writing, linguistics, and then English education. So I am linguistics, but I'll get to that last. So English education is obviously, it's mainly high school, middle school focused, that age range. And you basically do 2 majors. You're doing the education track and you are also English literature. That is that. So if you want to become an English high school teacher, you will be on the literature track. Or you can do literature alone. And that is for those people that just love the reading. That is not me. I'm sorry. But, and then there's English with writing and rhetoric. Those are the ones that, you know, either they're pre-law, that's a big one. So if you are looking to go to law school, English with a track in writing and rhetoric, it's an amazing line to get you straight into being a part of FIU's #1 bar passing class, you know what I mean? Or those who do writing and rhetoric can be editors or actual writers. And then there's linguistics, and we are the oddballs out studying language patterns, so on and so on. So like I said right there, out of all 4 of those tracks, I think I probably could list like 50 different careers. But I think one of the best things about this is it is such a flexible major that gives you room to also double major or get a minor or something like that. So that is what I'm doing. I am a double major, but I stuck with English because of the professional development from it. In the job market field, being able to say that like you are able to communicate orally and like orthographically or written sets you high above people. They want you to be able to communicate with another audience, which is why I find English so important. It is those little technical skills that I am building throughout our program that people say, oh, so you're going to become an English teacher. No, there are other careers, but I am also developing skills that are going to be very beneficial post-graduation.
Awesome. So what are your post-graduation goals?
So I want to become a professor. So I know I'm backtracked and somebody said like, you're gonna become an English teacher. No, but I am double majoring in another college. It's public policy and service. So I am looking to become a professor within that field. And I personally, like from being a writing tutor, from doing all of my English courses, I know that it's bettering my chances to succeed in that path to becoming a college professor.
Excellent, thank you. And you know, one of the things that I spent a little bit of time going over some of the amazing contributions that our faculty members have done. And I'm sure that we can expect wonderful things from you, Brittany, in the future. People who are pursuing a graduate level work usually end up doing work in the field, contributing, doing research and contributing to the general body of knowledge out there. So regardless of the area, you're going to do that. Now we had one student, David, ask a question, and I think I'm gonna let you touch on this question a bit, Brittany. So in early on, you had started off as an exploratory, maybe leaning towards biology, and then you switched, right? So you spoke a bit about your academic advisor helping you kind of figure out what would feel best and so on and so forth. I'd say, you know what, when did you realize you need to switch? What did you go through? How did you feel when you asked? So on and so forth.
Okay, so at FIU, I know there are some colleges make you do like the AA track, which if you would go to like MDC and then transfer to FIU, you would go and get your AA or AS for 2 years and then come here for 2 years. But at FIU, you do your UCCs. It is 36 credits of 1,000, 2,000 level courses that kind of translate into an AA, but it's a little bit shorter in my opinion. I only did my UCCs my freshman year. I kind of felt like I was in high school because I was taking math, science, history, English, public speaking, that kind of thing. But with the goal in mind that I was going to be biology, I took Bio 1 and Bio 2, my first semester and then my second semester. And during Bio 1, it wasn't the type of learning that I engage with the most. So I am more a hands-on, I need to like be writing it and hearing it and so on, as opposed to note card memorization kind of thing, which is terminology in biology. And that right there was very difficult for me, but I didn't just know if I was overwhelmed my freshman year, like my first semester. So I know my advisor just said, hey, listen, finish out your UCCs your second semester. Don't commit to a major. Take Bio 2. If you really are feeling as if you aren't passionate about it, then we'll switch. So I did take Bio 2. It is completely different. It's like Bio 1, you learn cells, so on, and and then in Bio 2, the first half is plants, and then it's the human body. So you do cover all of the possible tracks within biology between Bio 1 and Bio 2. And I just didn't find a topic that I was truly passionate about. And I think that's where it lies. It's what are you passionate about? And just deep down, I think I had the wrong motives when I was pursuing a biology degree because of like job security. But there are some people who are very passionate about making change within the medicine field and that kind of stuff. And I just wasn't passionate about it. I knew that in my ENT 1102 and approaches to literature, I was excited to write papers. And that is so English nerd of me, but I was very passionate about that work way more than I was about biology. And that's what my advisor just said. She's like, you can make anything work as long as you're passionate about it, and do not force yourself to be in a program that you don't feel like your heart is in it, because if your heart's not in it, your grades are going to reflect it, and your motivation and your postgraduate goals are going to reflect it. So I think that's just what I had to come to terms with, that I may have had this preconceived goal coming into FIU, but then once you're exposed to all of the options and opportunities that FIU gives you, your passions are going to start to realign, but you need to follow them. And I'm very thankful that I did. So I hope that answered your question.
That is fantastic. I'm going to add a little bit more to that. So David, you asked specifically, like, when can you change your major, and when does it become too late? So ideally, some majors, especially the sciences, have a lot of sequenced courses. And ultimately, you need to get started on those early on because it's one after another, and sometimes multiple at the same time in order. So you want to get a feel for those early on to, in fact, understand or figure out, does this feel right? So majors in STEM, those you want to do the exploration and really diving in early on because you would not necessarily be able to add a STEM degree if you didn't do, to change into a STEM major if you didn't have all the prerequisites, so on and so forth. So you want to do a lot of the exploration early on and really kind of get a feel for, hey, what are my favorite classes, and what about them specifically makes them my favorite classes? And those are usually good indications as to what's a good fit for you. We also have exploring classes. There's an SLS class that will give you an opportunity to explore different majors. And of course, kind of having conversations with your academic advisor will also help you figure out what is a good pathway and how else to further explore, just like Brittany did with hers. I think we have another question. I think, Imap, if you have a question, you can go ahead and ask it out loud if you'd like.
She's probably reading my response to her question.
Oh, okay. Okay, I got you. So my daughter's good in math and science, doesn't enjoy writing. How hard are the English class and other classes that require writing? Well, part of the beauty behind FIU is all the resources. So Brittany can actually tell you about, the services that she provides, how she helps as a writing tutor and writing fellow. Do you want to talk a little bit about that, Brittany?
Okay, so you're saying that your daughter, right, is more STEM focused and talking about the levels of difficulty of English. So if you are STEM, you only really have to take ENC 1101 and 1102 and during your UCCs. But I would mainly say focus on them because biology also does require writing, especially in lab reports. And that's another place where I was like, I love writing these lab reports. And okay, but they are very sequential. So ENC 1101 lays the basis and then it grows in ENC 1102. And I feel as if the way that the classes are structured, it helps you grow and it doesn't just shove you into a 4,000 level English course. Like ENC 1101 is expected for students to just start right at the beginning and say, this is how college writing is going to be. Let's practice it and let's focus on it. In ENC 1102, it's, let's get some more practice. Let's do some actual, like, what are you going to be writing in the next 4 years? And here's where I will advertise for the Writing Center. So the Writing Center is a free service that runs Monday to Saturday, 9 to 9. And right now we are virtual. It is online, but you can bring any form of assignment that has words in it to us. And we have 45 minutes with a one-to-one tutor and we can go through brainstorming, fixing grammar, helping with citations, helping build an outline. We are here to help because we understand that, some students, just writing isn't for them, but we want to make sure that they are confident in their work. And that's like our goal. During the assignment or like the appointment, we'll say, do you enjoy what you're writing? Are you proud of what you're writing? And if they say no, then it's okay. Where are we struggling and how can we fix it? Because we want them to be able to do their own work and just learn and grow, as opposed to us taking a red pen and saying, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. We'll say, this could be fixed and here is why. Does that make sense? So,
Yes, so I have a question. So the basic English classes, do you have to like read a book like a Shakespeare play and then write an essay on it? Or is it research papers where you have to pick a topic and then research and write a 10-page paper on that with the citations? Like what kind of basic writing is it for English? And then also what kind of writing is involved with biology lab reports, which I believe is more like black and white kind of, informational.
I personally, like, from my experiences with ENC 1101, I did clip out of them from AP, but seeing 1101 students come to the Writing Center, it is a little bit more research kind of based. There are some creative aspects to it, but from my experience with ENC 1102, how it was, we did a semester long project, okay? And we picked kind of like a social issue, I guess you could say. Mine was anxiety and stress on college campuses. So our first assignment was researching them, writing a 3-page paper with in-text MLA citations, practicing how to do those. And then we did peer reviewing, we built a bibliography, and then our final project was making a creative advertisement for them. So I created a pamphlet that was front and back, and it explained the difference between an anxiety disorder and stress, and then gave resources at the bottom. So it was, during that whole semester, we got practical, peer review, and then the creative aspect to it. So it kind of touched on every single field, you know, to give students like an example of what could be expected throughout those 4 years. So that's kind of it. I feel like it's kind of a mixed pot between 1101 and 1102 that really just touches everything and gives a practice in everything. Where biology, it's, so for Bio 1, you do 2 lab reports, and then Bio 2 is a literature review, I believe. So
I didn't hear you. Bio 2.
I believe it's a literature review. I know mine was on deforestation and global warming with polar bears and red pandas. It's a compare and contrast paper. But Bio 1, it's, here are 2 experiments, let's write on it. So a full research paper from literature review, methodology, results, discussion kind of thing. And you write it comprehensively, turn it in, etc. But with that, it is research and literature review, APA citations, writing a bibliography, but then the methodology comes from your biolab like workbook, and then your results are from you and your group putting the bacteria on the little gel plates and seeing them, and then taking that with your literature review and writing a discussion about why you got the results that you did. So I feel as if, you know, I took ENC 1101 or C 1102 and biology simultaneously. And because I was learning like research methods in ENC 1102, I was able to apply it to biology because I was learning how to do research in 1102. And then in biology, it was practical. I was applying it. And I feel like they kind of came together, thankfully. And I was just learning skills and being able to use them at the same time. Does that help? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I'd like to add a little bit more to that. So there are other resources. So I was also a former biology lab TA. So there's office hours for all professors, all classes that students are encouraged to attend. In addition to that, there's something called the Read, Write, and Cite. So there are workshops within the Center for Academic Success, also under the tutoring umbrella, specifically for the biology lab reports. So it's phenomenal. There is tutoring one-on-one. And we have multiple departments to assist students, right? So whether it's the Center for Academic Success, the Center for Excellence in Writing, the actual professors and faculty themselves, Disability Resource Center to help any students who may have been on a plan in high school, kind of transition that over here. So you name it, we have the resources to assist our students. Now, you had mentioned particular concern about writing. So there are going to be 2 additional classes that involve some sort of writing that your student will have to do. And that is where we go ahead and encourage something that's of interest within different categories for your daughter to select. So that's where, and then once again, there's usually tutors in the class to help with the writing. There's also, going back to what Brittany said, there's the Center for Excellence in Writing to help with that assessment, that assignment, and the professors themselves. So we understand that some students have fortes in different areas. So regardless, we do have resources to assist.
So what are those 2 other classes where they do a lot of writing?
Well, there's 2 categories. They're called humanities with writing. So it can be anything from a religious analysis class to a politics class.
Oh, I see. And let me ask, do y'all have weed out classes? Like my daughter wants to do something in the medical field, be a PA, PT, doctor, something like that, or possibly go into marine biology to be a marine vet. So I remember when I was in college, which was a long time ago, there were these classes that were considered weed out because the professors were so hard and they on purpose tried to get you to fail to drop out of that major.
No, so our faculty is committed to helping our students. Now, there are certain courses that are demanding, and those tend to be the courses that, you know, and every major will have it. And STEM majors especially have those courses, you know. So like if it's a math sciences degree, it's Calc 2 is the first benchmark, and then after that it's Intro to Advanced Math, right? So every major will have those really demanding critical classes. Now, we are firm believers in providing support and educational opportunities for our students. So it isn't a matter of faculty members being purposely difficult. It's not that at all. The content itself is necessary and may be difficult, but there are always resources available. You know, whether it's recitation class for some of the sciences, the additional tutoring. Sometimes there's PLTL, peer-led team learning, which is small group learning to supplement the learning that goes on in the classroom. So there are multiple resources available. And this is really ultimately where the student wants to know ahead of time, hey, where are my strengths and where are my opportunities for growth? And knowing ahead of time, they can go ahead and say, I plan on utilizing tutoring as soon as it's open. I plan to make friends and do group activities or group work or group study from the very beginning, and so on and so forth. So it's really about setting a pace that works for your student.
Can
and
I touch on
utilizing all of the resources. Yes.
So I was gonna say, even though like I did switch from biology to English, I did take, like I said, Bio 1 and Bio 2, the labs that corresponded, and I was able to get an A in all four. Like, and that was because the teachers, they do offer office hours. I was actively involved in PLTL, going to my TA for biolabs office hours, reaching out and taking advantage of those opportunities helped me pass. I think it's also like, if someone says like this class was hard, I would say, but have you gone to office hours? But have you reached out? And if they say no, I kind of sit there, because the professors want to see you succeed. They do. And I will contribute that too, because I took Professor John Koza for Bio 1 and Bio 2. I did not stray from him. I liked his style of teaching the first week of Bio 1, and I said, I'm sticking with you. And I don't know if he got annoyed with me, but I know he didn't. But I was at his office hours at least once a week saying, help me, please. And he did. And I was able to pass with like flying colors. So I think it's like taking that drive and that initiative to reach out if you are struggling. And I feel that's like, students may say, but there's 300 kids in the class. They don't, like, they're not concerned about my questions. No, they are. You just have to ask them. And that makes it kind of seem harsh, but I don't know if like students kind of may feel like they're getting lost in a big crowd, but simply staying after class or going to the office hours, so the Center for Academic Success is in the same room as the Center for Excellence in Writing. They are students who have passed the course with an A. So if you did say, I need help with the content of my bio lab report, I would first say go there, because those are the students that have passed Bio 1 and 2 with an A. But if you're saying, I don't know how to do APA in-text citations, then I say, okay, come down the hallway to me, because I will help you with that, and I will help you with sentence structure. So there are different like nodes of help that will make sure that collectively you are passing and you are understanding the full length of the assignment.
Mm-hmm.
And do you have any suggestions, any of y'all suggestions about if she starts in the summer right after high school graduation, which is her, that's what she's planning on, with you know, she's choosing if she wants to come to FIU, first of all. But if she starts in the summer and she has to take 9 credit hours, like what 3 classes would be the best 3 classes with a different variety so she's not too overwhelmed and like starts out on a, you know, more manageable path, put it that way.
So you don't
For
have to
someone
worry
who's
about
not who doesn't like a ton of writing.
Right, so you don't have to worry about that because when students are admitted and start in summer, advisors actually analyze all of the credits that they're bringing in, the major that they're interested in or that they selected, and will actually pick classes geared towards their success. So that's not something that you would have to worry about. And the student does not register for 9 classes, 9 credits in the summer. They register for no more than 7. Because it's a 6
I was told by the I've done all these virtual sessions this whole week and spoken to the admissions people and the scholarship people, and if she gets a merit scholarship, she has a 4.0 and a 27 on the ACT. She's a smart girl, but you know, they said specifically you have to take 3 credits in the summer, and then every fall and spring you have to take, you know, 4 classes, which is usually 12 credits to be full-time to keep that scholarship.
Right. So full-time in fall and spring is 12 credits, no more than 18. That's a little bit too much. That's insane. So 12 credits fall and spring. But what they're actually trying to do is just articulate if it's 120 credits for a degree and it takes 4 years, it's 30 that's to be done every year. So if it's 12 in fall, 12 in spring, then that adds up to 24. You need 6 more. So when do you do it? You do it in the summer. So we plan out 7 your first, usually 7 your first summer. We plan out, and then depending on how, you know, the classes map out, it can be anywhere from 12 to 15 credits the subsequent fall, and so on and so forth. So that is the typical allotment of credits, but ultimately it does depend on the incoming class and so on and so forth, and the placements and where they are with math and so on and so forth. So that is something that academic advisors will plan on and discuss with your student. So that's not something that you would have to necessarily worry about right away.
And is that to keep a merit scholarship? I mean, it's like keeping the merit scholarship is 30 credit hours for a whole like summer, fall, spring, if she starts then.
Generally speaking, that is the requirement, but full-time. The other thing to consider is that certain scholarships will have certain requirements. So we plan on full-time being 12, and we do encourage students to always check in. Hey, with financial aid, this is my current package. How am I doing on credits? Am I good? Do I have to add anything? And so on and so forth. So it's still done with plenty of time to adjust if needed. But generally speaking, 30 a year is what we're shooting for. And some students might be, admitted through the successful transfer to excellence program, which would taper the number of credits and gradually grow it. And it still adds up to 30 for the year. So we've got your back as far as the student success is concerned.
And can she take all those core classes at the BBC campus if she wants to live in the Biscayne Bay, the housing there, and then take her core stuff at that location? Or does she really need to look at staying in housing on the Modesto campus?
Well, depending on the major, most of the classes that are part of the general education classes that Brittany spoke about, those UCC courses, those are generally spread across both campuses and online. However, if your student decides to live up at BBC, we have a free shuttle. And that free shuttle is an hour of somebody else driving with free internet where your daughter can go ahead and do homework or catch some Z's. So if the courses, if there's probably going to be more than enough options for her to take at BBC. But depending on the major and when she starts getting into the nitty gritty of the major, she may actually end up taking more courses at MMC. And that's not an issue. Like I said, she can take the free shuttle and take her courses there. So it's just a matter of her budgeting enough time to make sure that everything's planned out successfully.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. David has another question. Would there be a lot of chemistry or physics classes involved with a marine biology major? A lot is a subjective word, but yes, there are chemistry and there are physics classes required in marine biology. Any other questions? So Brittany can really speak a lot about her first year in science and her work in the humanities and English, obviously, afterwards. I also am an alum from FIU and I studied biology as well. So if you have any questions specific to biology, you can also ask me.
So I have another question.
Sure.
Okay, so my daughter was told that she, in order to become a doctor, that it was a good idea to, of course, major in biology for undergrad, but minor in art history, because it teaches you, when you're learning about different pieces of artwork, it teaches you how to be observant. If she wants to be a surgeon is her goal, but I don't know if she wants to be in college for 15 years, but she can decide that later. Anyway, but it really teaches you to pick up on the teeny tiny little things and be observant to be a better doctor or PA or something like that. So is that possible? And would she get a BS in biology or a BA in biology, and which track? I pulled up all the course listing and stuff, and I was a little confused because it didn't look like it was just like a BS in biology or a BA in biology. Mm-hmm. It looked like it was biology for becoming a teacher or biology for becoming a marine scientist.
No, so there's a couple things. So there is the general biology BS degree. There's the general biology BS with the biomolecular forensics track, I think is what it's called. There's the BA in biology. There's the biology BS with the education track. But before we get into which one your daughter should select, it's important to understand if your daughter is interested in medical school, in being a doctor, not PT, not PA, just doctor. Well, any of them, you do not have to have a single major. In fact, you can be an English major and take the courses for the prerequisites to get into medical school, have phenomenal extracurricular activities, go ahead and do research and work with in someone's lab to utilize, go ahead and get involved in some type of shadowing or volunteer experiences. So I want to really just take a moment right now and say, you do not have to be a biology major.
Right. I realize that, but she is all math and science, like focused.
And so
that's how her brain works, and she enjoys it. And history, forget it. English, forget it. You know what I'm saying? Like she's done it. She's made straight A's in it, but that is not what she's interested in. And if she's interested in something and she's a hands-on learner and passionate about it, she's more likely to complete college and go on to some form of grad school. Now it's something in the medical field she wants to do. Who knows by the time 4 or 5 years have gone by what she actually wants to choose.
Mm-hmm. Understood. So there are multiple STEM degrees. Of course, if she's interested in biology, like Brittany spoke about, hey, you're excited about mitochondria. Awesome. Biology is perfect for you because you're going to be studying cells. You're going to be studying ecology. You're going to be studying genetics. You're going to be studying a broad range of life sciences within biology. There are other degrees. There are other STEM degrees, for example, in physics. There are multiple physics tracks. So if your daughter actually loves math and science so much that, hey, she happens to love physics, physics is a phenomenal option as well, because it will also give her the opportunity to take courses for medical school. And physics majors happen to have the highest MCAT scores, right? So it's just she just needs to select a major that fits well for her, like the content that she loves. So that's an opportunity.
She enjoys more like the human anatomy, the anatomy of animals, dissecting animals, that kind of thing, the actual, the hands-on of that kind of thing. Does she really get excited about mitochondria? No, probably not. But,
Right.
I mean, you have to learn it. That's all part of it. I mean, she did well in chemistry. She did well in all of her math classes, but she didn't take physics in high school. She just basically ran out of time. She's a senior in high school. We live north of Atlanta, so we're far away. That's why she's trying to decide on where she wants to go. And she's been accepted at 7 universities already.
Understood. So like I said, if she's interested in biology will give her an opportunity to take some of those physiology classes and so on and so forth. There's other degrees out there as well, right? So just wanted to make sure that when she starts, she's probably going to get started in math and chemistry and then move forward from there. That's generally how we start people who are interested in medicine.
Can I touch on something real quick?
Yeah, of course.
You were saying that they recommended taking art history for her. So I personally might say no to that, where I feel she would excel more in directing her biology electives towards those sections of where she's passionate, because those right there are going to teach her like more that she needs to know, as opposed to like the finding the details. Because I think genuinely she's going to get those like traits in all of her biology courses already. I feel like the ones that they have laid out are going to give her the skills necessary to succeed on the MCAT. I mean, personally, I do understand where they're coming from. Like, it makes sense. But at the same time, I wouldn't recommend taking your elective credits and directing them towards something that she may not be passionate about. You said she is science and math. I would direct those, again, like I think you might have like 30 electives maybe, because biology really doesn't give that much wiggle room. It's like 30 credits, which is like 5 classes. I would say giving those 5 classes to biology, but diversifying them to where she might be able to get more practical, like hands-on experience or research opportunities that will say, okay, post-graduation, I loved this elective class in marine anatomy, and this is what I want to do. Is that like, because, and then I would also
So
say,
you don't have to pick like a minor in something. You can just pick the other biology or chemistry or whatever classes as the electives to go towards the 120 hours. So you can pick a human anatomy class, or like you said, marine anatomy or something like that.
yes, because when I was taking my English degree, because it is so short, they said, listen, once you finish it, you will only have 72 credits. Therefore, you need to fulfill 48 more to graduate. You can choose another major, 3 minors, 3 certificates, a short major and a minor, or you can just take elective courses and free fall for the next like 3 years, which personally, because there was so many, it's 48 credits. That's almost 2 years of my schooling. Like I wasn't going to kind of just say, oh yeah, 2 years of electives, sure. But when it is only 5 classes of electives that STEM majors kind of allow, I would say put them towards those more fun, interactive electives that'll give you experience and kind of broaden your field, as opposed to bio 1, 2, chem 1, 2. So.
And there's also an opportunity, and this is a takeaway. The reason that person spoke about art history is because they're articulating something they like. So when your daughter selects a course or courses that maybe they're parallel to her major, right? Maybe it's a different area. Maybe she's going to take another physics class that she never heard of, or that isn't commonly taken, whatever the course may be. Articulating what transferable skills she got out of each and every single class is really what people are looking for. When you take the time to say, oh, this one assignment in this particular class taught me about research, and I grew on those skills in the subsequent class, so on and so forth. And this course that I have to do, this global learning course, really made me think about other cultures and other people and how differing viewpoints can be so drastically different than mine. And this is probably going to come in handy when I work in medicine because of XYZ. So it's really about articulating what you get out of each and every single class, even those general classes, the general education classes that your daughter will take, will teach her something that can translate to very real skills that she'll utilize in the workforce.
Definitely. And
is it a good idea to take Spanish?
Well, so this is a conversation that she's going to want to have with her academic advisor to see where she stands with how many credits, how much space she has. And if she's planning on staying in a region that has a lot of Spanish speakers, it might be a good idea, as long as it fits. So that's our preoccupation. We just want to make sure what your goals are, what your interests are. Let's see how we can map it out so everything falls into a nice little, puzzle piece picture.
Yeah, and definitely I was going to say there is also opportunities like outside of the classroom for that. So you could join the pre-med professional like honor society. That's like Alpha something Delta. So that right there, it is like an organization solely it's a professional fraternity. That's what it's called. So this group, it's only pre-med students who get together to grow and develop with one another. And it's a community of support of all students who are looking to be pre-med. So that right there, if she feels like she's not getting like those characteristics that she wants like in the classroom, outside of the classroom, there are organizations that will be there to support her. She could join like a Spanish club. So if she doesn't have her like credit room for Spanish, outside of it, you could join like the Writing Center has like conversation circles. So she could come once a week to the Writing Center to our Spanish conversation circle and learn practical dialogue in Spanish. So there's room to wiggle when you're in a STEM major and it kind of seems like your 4 years are planned out for you. But outside, I like get in contact with people because extracurriculars are very important, but also very big at FIU. So there is a place for everyone outside of the classroom, in my opinion.
Can I offer a suggestion?
Yes, of course.
So there's a really cool program that's actually part of CASE, and I think Alina may know a bit of knowledge about it. It's called CUBIC. It's quantifying biology in the classroom, and I think it's a good opportunity for somebody who's so STEM oriented. I had a few friends when I was in undergrad who were part of it. It allows you to kind of specialize in that biology field that you see. It seems like your daughter has that aptitude for. And although her schedule, the classes that she's going to be taking is a bit more structured than it's going to be for other students, it allows that opportunity for her to focus, as you said, in an area where she already has interest. And it provides that same opportunity to be surrounded by like-minded individuals and peers who are also studying and pursuing that interest. Like Brittany mentioned, we do have Phi Delta Epsilon, which is the pre-med professional Greek organization on campus. The biggest thing that Brittany kept highlighting, and I love it because it's so true about FIU, is that we offer a ton of opportunities outside of the classroom. And so just those two organizations, being surrounded by those individuals from your freshman year to senior year when she's applying for med school, I promise you the like-minded individuals and the resources that all of those students, because I trust you, a lot of them do end up graduating and going on to pursue graduate level programs. They come back and provide a lot of mentorship opportunities. And that is invaluable, especially to these 18-year-old, 19-year-old students who are still kind of figuring out and developing on their next pathway. So I'm going to make sure that I send you the link because we have been communicating. It's CUBIC. Look into it. And a lot of the requirements, the GPA and the test scores that you mentioned to us earlier, she already meets a lot of those general requirements. And I think it's something that can benefit her in the long run. Again, like you said, she's so interested in that microbiology field. So please look out for that link from me. I got you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Elliot. That's fantastic. So I think we're just about, well, we're a few minutes over time. Does anyone else have any questions that you'd like to ask? Anything, you can ask me. It can be advising related. It can be student experience related about clubs and the campus. Anything. Feel free to ask. You can unmute yourself and ask, or you can ask me or Elliot in the chat, or Brittany. Anyone? Okay, well then I think we're about wrapping up then. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure giving you an insider's view into FIU and the College of Art Sciences and Education. So I really want to thank all of you for attending, and if you have any questions, feel free to stick around and ask, okay? Otherwise, thank you so much and have yourselves a lovely Saturday and a fantastic weekend. Take care, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you so
Welcome.
much.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure.
Thank you, Brittany, too. You're very articulate. You're a very mature young woman. Good for you.
Sarah, did you have any questions you wanted to ask?
No, I'm good. Thank
Good.
you. It was nice meeting you.
It was nice meeting you as well. Have yourself a lovely day.
You too. Thank you.
I think we're done then. Let me go ahead and stop recording.